Hello everyone, so this is the flip through of the Aquarian Tarot. I've had this tin one for 5 years now, and I never came across the full version. I only had seen the tin one, and the tin one is just phenomenal. It's so good. It's a nice size. It's beautiful. It's really pretty. It's just upside down. And it's just stunning. It's a nice on-the-go deck. I've used it from most of my beginning of learning tarot. I used it. The only thing I have a little problem with it is that the book is like a folded up piece of paper, and I didn't. No thanks to that. But yeah, so that's the only one I have experienced with, is this little one. And this one is the Aquarian Tarot by David Palladini, who sadly passed away. Not that long ago actually. This is a 2016 remake because it's in a tin by US Games. And then I met this lovely lady called Susan, and during one of the groups, and I had a deck that she wanted, and she goes, "I only have this. I found it in the back of my wardrobe." And I went, "What is it?" And it's the Aquarian Tarot that's been sitting there. And I went, "Are you serious?" The Aquarian Tarot from 1970 has been sitting there. And she we swapped decks, and she gave me a lovely note and such, saying the box is a bit beaten up because it's been lying in my wardrobe, but the cards themselves are only been shuffled once. I cannot connect with them, sadly. That's literally it. And I gave her the Angel Answer by Radley Valentine. So win-win. Do you know what I mean? Like, we both got something that we were looking for. And the full version, now I had to go through this to put it in order. The box is in bits because it's a unicard, for God's sake, it's not that big a deal. But the blue, I just can't get over how blue the backings are, compared to the tin. Just get one card here. So the tin is like kind of a less saturated version, and this is just the end card about David Palladini. You can read that if you like. But yeah, no, and the tin one has a white border. This is borderless on the back. On the front, it's not borderless. So let me see. I'll get the Hierophant real quick. We'll go through this for sure. Just want to get the Hierophant. Okay, so the colour scheme is practically the same, actually. So it's because the ones with tins, like the Morgan Greer is one for knowing that the tin is a lighter saturation, a lighter contrast than the full version. The full version is like the lovers are tanned and sunburned, whereas like in the tin they're not as sunburned. You can actually see them and see their details and stuff. And here it's like the same. Like, there's a little bit more saturation there, tiny bits, but it's not overly saturated, But yeah, this is not a comparison with the tin. It's just because the tin is the one I've only experienced this deck with. So we're gonna do the flip through now. Oh my god, my nose is so itchy. I did a facial, so it happens afterwards. You get an itchy nose. So this is from US Games from 1970, and I can't get over how long ago that was. It doesn't feel like it's that long ago, Just in perspective, So let's tilt you down. Okay, so there's the full, and we have this border here, and then there's like at the top it's a bigger border because we have the number. Then we have the full written down here. He has his flower, his staff, and you see the string there, so I presume that string is obviously his bag, or it could be a feather off his hat. But yeah, I love this deck. Like, this deck was really easy to read with when I was starting off. Now I just needed one for on the go, and my friend at the time found the Aquarian Tarot, and I found it, and it was like the best thing I bought. And I went, is there more tins? I have like 5 tins. So they're handy to bring around. But sometimes you just want the full deck, because it's nice to see the full scale of it, because it's shrunk down to a small tin size card, and you don't see the details as much. Like with her, like you can see that on the card, but it's just nice to see the full scale of it with the High Priestess. Oh, like it's such a nice deck. I can't get over. I have very sentimental value towards this. Like this deck, just the tin one, but like I'll get used to this full version. It's really pretty and it's so nice, and it's just there's some kind of, you know, history with it for me. Oh my goodness, the lovers, wow! Like seeing that in full scale is lovely. Like just seeing that up close, like seeing the colours in this are insanely beautiful. There is another Aquarian tarot, but I think it's not the Aquarian tarot. It's called like the New Palladini Aquarian tarot, if I'm mistaken, and it's a different style, but still by David Palladini. That's beautiful. Like, I'm not going to talk much because I know what this deck is like, but it's very Art Deco. I find very Art Deco, and it's stunning. Like there's the Hermit, and I love how he's facing away for once. This is one of the decks that made me go, oh my god, the Hermit's facing away. Because yeah, he doesn't want to give you eye contact to make you convince him to stay, so it makes sense like why he's facing away. Then we have the Wheel. And Justice, like Justice is, it looks cluttered, but it's not. It just makes sense. Like the more you stare at it, the more it makes sense. Oh, and what was it? Wands are called rods in this. That's the only one that's different, I think. And I don't think, no, Pentacles are Pentacles, I think. And there's the Hangman. The Death card is really unique. It's like, this is a soldier, not Death himself, going into battle, and his face is like slowly turning into a skull, so he's going into battle to die. And it's just really, it's a really powerful Death card. It's a very powerful Death card. That's one of the things I love about this. The box art of the tin is the Temperance card, and this Temperance card is phenomenal. You don't see the flow of the water, but you see the symmetry of the card. This is all about symmetry, because like if you cut that in half and folded it, not cut it, if you fold it in half, it would be symmetrical. And I think that's what the whole point of this card was, is that it's more symmetry than balance. And symmetry is balance on both sides, but it's not like a flow of water or anything. Because I would stare at this card for so long, and I'm like, where's the water? And when I was learning, I went, oh my god, it's symmetrical. It's symmetrical. It's not, to some degree it's symmetrical, but then you see her face. She has one earring on one side, and her face is the one that makes it more, I'm not quite in balance. So I'll just show you that there is some temperance here. Like here, if you cut that in half or whatever, you know. The Devil is very interesting. It's just this weird animal skull. I don't know what kind of a skull it is, but there's two people here, and the two people have tails. So it made me wonder, the two people devils themselves, you know? You can't tell. So it's very sinister. Very cool. The tower is very straightforward. Lightning, fire, water. It's very Art Deco, and I love this font. Like, I love the font of the Aquarian tarot. Here's the star. It's a peacock, which I find interesting, because peacocks do represent... Don't they represent... The peacock's eye like represents like good things coming and wishes coming true or such like that. Same thing as the star. I just can't remember exactly what a peacock represents, so you can let me know below what a peacock represents for those who have done animal spirits and studies of such. The moon. I actually would probably get this moon as a tattoo. It's so pretty. Because I love when there's a moon, there's a crescent moon, there's a face, and it's a circle in itself, and then there's like this blue. I just love cards like that. Moons like that are very old-fashioned, but they're stunning. They're just stunning. Here's the sun card. The sun card is just brilliant. It's very modern, and it's very, it's going to be Art Deco all the time because that's the style of this deck. But I love it. I love that style. Judgment. There's no angel. That's what I love about this Judgment card. Now, I don't mind angels, but you know when you want to see something different from a certain card? There's a trumpet. He's calling back the troops. So he's like, Judgment, who's coming back from the battle, in that sense. And then here's the World card. We have the all the symbols: the man, the eagle, the lion, and the bull. But I love how the bull has this like armor on, and she's fully clothed, which is nice. Like, there's nothing wrong with nudity, but it's just nice to see her being like a sophisticated lady, opening the door, going, "Oh, are you coming in or not?" Or like for the next chapter of things. So yeah, it's really nice to see that. Okay, we're on to the minors, and the minors where I normally do be quiet, so I'm going to keep quiet, flip through, and we'll talk about them later. Okay, so that was the Aquarian Tarot, the full size one. I love this deck so much, and like the tin one, I love. I think, what was it? I have the Morgan Greer one, and I had the Morgan Greer full version. The only thing with the full version of that is that I use the tin more, whereas this is like one of those decks like, no, I need the both sides to this. Okay, so we got the Hermit. We're going to do a quick reading. 4 of Pentacles, that came up before. And the Emperor, okay. So was the Hierophant, and we have the 4 of Cups as the overall energy. Okay. So you need to take some time to yourself. We've been in lockdown for a while now. The world is going to keep going, but this is going to be changing the way we do things now. So you need some time to yourself, because obviously we've all been locked down probably with family or friends or roommates or whatever, and you need some you time, some alone time. And you're seeking guidance because of that, so you need to see, like, how do I approach this alone time without offending anyone? Like, say if you had a partner, you didn't want to upset them in that sense, you know, so it's nothing wrong with seeking help in that sense. Like, how can I have some alone time without, because I can't travel in that sense, but then with that alone time and with this like lockdown phase, we see that you've saved a lot of money. You've saved it. You need to be careful with it, because the 4 of Pentacles is where, like, this is my money, I'm being careful with it, this is mine, don't come near me, and such. And then we have the Emperor, which is usually a father or a boss figure, and we have the Chariot. I just want to see what the advice was coming for them. From them, they're going to be saying, take your time, there's no rush, life's not a race, and like this will accumulate in itself. The overall energy is that 4 of Cups, which is kind of throwing me off, because we have the Hierophant and the Emperor where you go for advice, and the overall energy is that you are stubborn about asking for advice. So maybe you find it hard to ask for advice. Let's see what the overall outcome is. We have the Lovers. So the overall outcome of this, like, going on your own and seeking some like spiritual growth and maybe some guidance in that sense from the universe. You save the money as you go. You go to the Emperor for a really strong like leadership advice, and with the Chariot, you know this is going to be a slow and steady process. And the overall outcome is the Lovers, which means you follow your passions. I feel like you follow your true calling, like you find your true calling during this time, and it's you make your passions a career, which is great, you know, like it's lovely to do that, to make your passions into a career. So that's the overall outcome of the reading. So there you go, guys. I'll leave that there, and I will see you all very soon.